all around the world today, we're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. So let's begin by reminding ourselves of why he was born and the road that leads to the cross, the narrow road. We will lead as soldiers of the cross as far as our own 2 feet will carry us, flipping tables and turning lights out on demonic activity by taking our light out to a world that has lived outside the light for so long. We will lead as soldiers of the cross as far as our own 2 feet will carry us. But my own 2 feet are 1 foot away from slipping down the slippery slope of an unbelief hidden in my belief. Believe me when I say that the words from these lips don't always line up with the thoughts in this heart. My ongoing chase of sense and uncertainty and stability and the unpredictability of a life I cannot micromanage has stretched the veil of my facade so thin that I am now shocked to see the contents of my heart so plainly. So I grasp for new covering, spit out some fine words of conventional faith I have bartered for with what's left of my conviction. But what happens when I have nothing left to barter with? Still, we will lead as soldiers of the cross as far as we possibly can, because when we catch glimpses of God's gifts inside us, they excite us upon discovery, but quickly lose their shiny glint once we realize that these gifts require some assembly, lessons to be learned, and desires to be submitted. And I ask myself how imperfect tools could be used by a perfect God. And they stay there in my soul, like half-open packages and half-finished tasks as we are driven to distraction by the important things of this life, forgetting that there are more important things than this life. The narrow road is a place where every man is called to die. And inside him, his spirit is reborn. The ultimate exchange of death for life. The narrow road is a path that was paved by the blood that flowed from the sinless sinner. The sun turned dark as he looked past the hatred in the eyes of the ones that tore his flesh with whips and into the eyes of God and into the eyes of man. The narrow road is a path that I must walk with my own 2 feet, but my own 2 feet are tired, aching. I want to lead as a soldier of the cross, but I am held back by fear and lack and the unpredictabilities of a life I cannot micromanage. So what do I do, Father? But as I drag my dusty feet along these roads, I am reminded that I have never walked alone. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, whose footprints we now see through the sands of time. Because he's walked these roads long before we even thought, and before we were even thoughts, and now he calls us to follow. And there was nothing that can overtake us because there was nothing that could overtake him, so we will follow. We will lead as soldiers of the cross up this narrow road until the end of time, where we will lay our crowns at the feet of the resurrected King and crown him with many crowns, the newborn baby whose cry pierced through the silence of a Bethlehem night as the whole world and its realms unseen held its breath. Son of God, Son of man, heaven's jewel now embedded in a vessel of clay. The King is here. And this time he's not coming with chariots or angels, no pomp or pageantry, but with a simple word that calms the storm and raises the dead to life. Listen, as creation sings the grateful melody of an eternity now redeemed by the coming of this promised King who was and is and will forever be. So lift up your heads, O ye gates, and crown him with many crowns. Messiah, Redeemer, the King of glory, crown him with many crowns. Crown him with many crowns.
Now that deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, Deze, spoken word artist, phenomenal. You take words and you turn them to arrows. I'm not doing spoken word, by the way. And then just pierces the soul. Fantastic work, Deze. Deze, what does it take to be such a phenomenal spoken word artist? In case I'm planning to be one.
The grace of God and the submission to his will and letting him use your gift to his glory.
Amazing, and that's exactly what we're celebrating. Thank you so much, Deze. We're going to have more of Deze, so please stay right there with us. So, Deze, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing work.